Hello, friends. I'm Mrs. Claus, and it's so nice to meet all of you. Today I'm in a remote destination. It's just as frosty as the North Pole, but I'm up in the air. I just thought for privacy purposes that I would come to this destination because, of course, I wouldn't want you to find out where the North Pole is. That would take away the magic. Now I know what you must be thinking. She's not what I thought she would be. She looks different. Younger, perhaps. Yes. Well, the reason I'm so young is because when I met Nicholas, it was a wonderful wintry afternoon, and we went out for coffee, and it was just the most magical day when I was 24 years old. And on that day, when he told me that he was Santa Claus, my goodness, I was just so excited. And I just knew that it was love at first sight. And when I traveled to the North Pole, as the years went on, I realized that the magic was keeping me young. It was preserving me at the age that I was when I arrived at the North Pole. So that is why I look 24 still. Today I thought that we could drink some tea together and perhaps eat some delicious Christmas cookies and talk about how to craft the perfect letter to Santa Claus. Now, I'm very close to Santa Claus, which means, of course, I know things about him that you do not. So I can help you craft the perfect letter so that you can get everything you desire this Christmas. You are very lucky that you're here with me today to learn all of the tips and tricks to get everything that you want. Okay, so I think before we jump into it, I would like to make us some tea. I am a very, very big fan of delicious Earl Grey tea, but of course I have peppermint, and if you are not a tea person, I can make you a hot chocolate with marshmallows. Now I'm going to have a tea, but I'll make you a delicious hot chocolate if that's what you like. Okay, I will make you a hot chocolate then, and I will make myself a tea. All right, be right back. Here's your hot chocolate. I put it in one of the best mugs I have ever come across. It's a gingerbread cookie mug. The reason that it has an opening right here is because it is meant for a cookie. Yes, Santa loves these kinds of mugs. Hot chocolate and cookies are his favorite. Here you go. Cheers. I'm a very big fan of tea. I also like just holding something very warm in my hand at all times. Santa's okay with the cold, but me, I do like the warm. I like when we get to vacation in the summertime. Santa usually goes fishing somewhere, and I will just sit on the beach, read a book. It's really nice. Would you like a cookie? I've put out some delicious Christmas cookies. I think I'm gonna have I think I'm gonna have this red bell. Quite beautiful. Are we ready for a taste test? Okay, let's try. Absolutely delicious. The elves baked these fresh this morning. I told them that you'd be coming over. I told them that it is only polite to have some delicious homemade cookies for when my guest arrives. It's a delicious shortbread cookie. Wow, I just love it so much. I think that perhaps it would be good dipped in my tea. Let's try. So good. Let's finish this off. One last bite. Well, maybe 3. I don't take big bites. I'm also a very big fan of sprinkles. Gosh, I feel like they just add joy to a day. If you're sad and then you eat sprinkles, it just makes you happier. It's a cozy winter day outside. One last bite. Now I must wash it down with some tea. Scrumptious. Delightful. All right. It's time to get down to business. Do you have a journal and a pen, or perhaps a pencil? Okay. Well, doesn't matter. I am going to be writing down all the things that you're going to need to keep in mind when you're crafting your letter to Santa Claus. And you will be able to take that home with you today. Okay. Okay. So, I have my journal and I have my pencil, and I'm going to make a list for you, and you can take this home, okay? All right. So, let's begin. I'm going to make a title for you. How to craft the perfect letter to Santa Claus. How to craft the perfect letter to Santa Claus. Okay, so now the first thing that I think you should keep in mind is that Santa, like any man, loves to feel appreciated for his effort. And so I think it's important to acknowledge how wonderful your past gifts have been. Now, Santa is quite old, so make sure that you list a couple of your previous items to refresh his memory. He unfortunately was frozen quite old, whereas I came to the North Pole quite young. It is what it is. Sadly, I will never experience what it's like to have wrinkles. That's quite sad, actually. But that is not my fate. So, to get back to it, make sure to show Santa that you appreciate his previous efforts. Tell Santa you appreciate his previous gifts. That's important, I think. List a couple of those items, refresh his memory, and he will know right away who you are. And he will be so happy to hear that you appreciated them. Just tell them you are so grateful for all of the joy that they brought you. Okay. Number 2. Be complimentary. Santa, again, like any man, he was once a normal man before he became Father Christmas. Like any man, he loves to receive compliments. So make sure to tell him how much you admire his look and help him feel approved by you. Santa just wants to feel accepted for who he is, and he wants to feel admired by you. So make sure to compliment his looks and compliment how he is as a person. Santa Claus, of course, is just a wonderful man who has a big heart that is constantly trying to bring joy to the kids all around the world. Compliment him for being that way. He will very much appreciate that and feel so loved and approved by you and accepted, which every man wants. Make sure to do that. What else? I forgot to write it down for you. There you go. Compliment him. Okay, yes. What else? Gosh, there are so many things. Well, you could also encourage his wonderful behavior. He gives back to so many communities. He is just so loving and joyful. And you could tell him how much the world really needs that right now. Encourage this behavior, and perhaps he'll start doing things year-round, not just in the wintertime, once a year. Okay. I'm going to write that down for you. encourage his behavior. With all that being said, make sure that Santa knows that you trust that he will bring the best gifts this year. You trust in his magical ability to just know what you want. That you trust that he will spread joy around the world. Again, Santa is a regular man, and he wants to feel that you trust him. Make sure that you make him feel trusted. Make him feel trusted. It's very good advice, if I do say so myself. This is how we've stayed happy throughout the many, many moons that we've been together. Number 5. Now here's where your personal connections will come in handy. Do you know a repairman? Perhaps somebody that works with cars, and perhaps somebody that could give Santa a discount. Who do you know? Think about who you know, what connections you have, and how they can help Santa. Now, Santa's sleigh is getting quite rusty, and it could use a repair. Do you know a repairman? Perhaps a mechanic that could help? That's a great connection. Use it. Do you know a baker? Perhaps somebody that makes the most scrumptious cookies? Use it. Santa loves cookies, as you know. So think about your connections and what you can offer him as a sort of exchange for bringing you the best gifts. There should always be an energy exchange, and I think Santa would certainly appreciate a discount on his sleigh being repaired. It's a very good one. Or perhaps some scrumptious cookies. I'm sure he would love that. But think about your connections and put that in your letter. What connections do you have? Okay, now for my final thought and suggestion. I took a couple notes earlier to prepare for this. Let me just flip through my book to see, because there's something that I'm forgetting and I wouldn't want to forget. Need to keep looking. Oh, yes. Ah. Yes, I found it. Okay, yes, I remember now. My last thought was to consider possibly sending Santa a gift. Now, Santa's just like you, and he also likes to receive gifts, and he has interests outside of delivering gifts to all of you. And I think if you were to send him a special surprise, I think that could possibly put you on the top of the good list. So I'm going to give you a couple ideas as to things you could possibly send him. I think this is a very good idea. You should definitely send him a gift. Okay, now on Santa's wish list. Well, perhaps I'll even call him and ask him. But I have a couple things in mind first. So the first thing I have in mind, well, Santa loves fishing. Yes, as I mentioned, in the summertime, we go fishing. Well, he goes fishing and I stay on the beach and I read a book. I just love reading by the ocean. It's wonderful. And he loves to fish. We have a brilliant sign in our bedroom that says, "Wishing I was fishing." Of course, I am never wishing that I am fishing. I said, that's fine. You can hang that in our room. He loves to fish. So you could send him a fishing rod. Now that is quite big. So I'm thinking that perhaps you send him some hooks. I think his hooks are getting quite rusty. They're quite old. So I think that perhaps if you send him some hooks, that'll go nicely in the envelope. You can just drop them in there. That's why I did that. And yes, I think that should be fine. I don't think that would get stopped by customs or anything. Just tiny little fishing hooks. It's a good idea, I think. He would love that. What else? Oh, I'm going to write this down for you. Okay. Buy Santa a gift. Fish hooks. Of course, he would love worms, but that would be kind of gross. And they would be a little soggy by the time it arrives here. Okay. And dead. Also, very sad. Okay. So what else? He loves to fish. Ah, I know. Now, of course, Santa has a very, very big beard, and it takes all year for him to grow it that big. Usually January 1st for the new year. He shaves off the beard and he's clean shaven. I know, it must be quite shocking to think of Santa Claus without a beard. But nevertheless, he shaves every year. And the thing is, because the beard is quite thick, every year he kind of destroys his beard trimmer. Yes, so he's definitely going to need a beard trimmer for Christmas. Now, that was on my list of things to buy him, but I'll let you buy it for him this year. That's one less thing that I have to think about. Yes, you should buy the beard trimmer. He would love that. It'd be very helpful. Of course, perhaps you might want to think about buying him one next Christmas as well. Like I said, he breaks them every year, but yes, that's a good idea as well. Beard trimmer. Okay, the last and final thing I'm going to suggest is perhaps you would like to buy him a gym membership. Now, Santa and I have made a promise that this is the year that we are going to get healthy. We eat quite a lot of milk and cookies. And after Christmas, we come to the human world and we live amongst you all for quite some time. And so, I think whilst we are living amongst you, we could go to the gym and get healthy for once. So I think he would love a gym membership. That's an easy one. You could just print off a piece of paper with the membership and send it with your letter. He would very much appreciate that. We are very determined to get healthy this year, and exercise is very important. You know, he's quite old and his bones are starting to hurt, and we have been told that when you exercise, it actually helps your bones and it makes you feel so much better. That is something that we have decided, and that would be wonderful if you wanted to help contribute to that. I'm going to write that one down. Gym membership. Perfect. Gym membership. Great. Okay, one last piece of advice. Keeping all of these suggestions in mind, make sure that the overall vibe of the letter is joyful. Yes, Santa really responds to joyful energy. If he feels that you are being joyful and spreading love, he will feel that you are a spirit like his, and he will feel extra inclined to give you everything that you want. So, make sure that the overall vibe is joyful and grateful. Shall we go through them together? Okay. How to craft the perfect letter to Santa Claus. Number 1, tell Santa you appreciate his previous gifts and list a few to refresh the memory. Number 2, compliment him. Tell him how much you love his beautiful beard and Santa hat. Oh, it's hanging right there. Number 3, encourage his joyful, loving behavior. Number 4, make him feel trusted. Very important. Number 5, think about what connections you bring to the table. Make sure to offer him some kind of a discount, something that would appeal to him. Think about that one. Number 6, buy Santa a gift. I forgot. I wanted to do a quick call with him to see if he had any insight as to what gifts he might want. We'll do that right after this. Buy Santa a gift, fish hooks, a beard trimmer, or a gym membership. It's the year of health coming up. I feel it. And number 7, keep the overall vibe joyful and grateful, and Santa will be so excited to help bring you exactly what you want this year. Okay, so I don't do this all the time, but I'm thinking today I will give him a quick call. You can have an exclusive chat with him, and he can tell you what he wants straight from his mouth, but perhaps I won't tell him that you are listening. Okay. It's just between you and I. It's a private conversation, so you cannot share what you hear with anyone else. Okay. Okay. Hi, Santa Claus. Well, I was wondering if you could tell me what you would like for Christmas this year.
For Christmas, I always hope for more joy and kindness in the world. It would be wonderful if everyone could feel the magic of the season and share it with others.
Yes, that would be wonderful. Now, I was mentioning to my friends that you would like a beard trimmer this year, and perhaps maybe some fish hooks because you love to fish.
Those sound like thoughtful ideas. When I'm not delivering presents, I enjoy reading, baking cookies, and spending time with the reindeer.
Yes, I did know that actually. You do like to read just like me, right?
Of course. I love reading, especially stories that bring joy and warmth.
Santa, is there a book series that you love?
I've always loved the classic tales of adventure and magic, like the Chronicles of Narnia. How about you? Do you have a favorite series?
But of course you know my favorite series. It's also the Chronicles of Narnia. Don't you remember I introduced you to it?
Of course. The Chronicles of Narnia is a wonderful choice. It's full of magic and wonder, just like this season. What do you love most about it?
Oh, that's such a good question. I can't believe we've never talked about this before. Well,
No problem at all. If you remember later, I'd love to hear about it.
oh, you're so silly. That's not what I meant. What I meant is we've been together for so long, and I just can't believe that we haven't spoken about this. But what I do love about this season is I just love the snow. It's so glittery and beautiful, and I love the coziness of winter.
Ah, I understand now. The snow truly is magical, and the coziness of the season is something special. It's a wonderful time to share warmth and joy.
Yes, it is. Well, thank you for chatting with me today, Santa. I'll see you later for dinner.
You're very welcome. I'll be looking forward to it. Take care and see you soon.
Okay, goodbye. I love you. That was a nice chat. Well, there you have it. I completely forgot how much he loves books. Definitely get him a book, perhaps. But of course, he loves when people spread joy. So you could also just promise that you will spread joy. All right, everyone. Well, it was wonderful hanging out with you today, and I hope I gave you some very good tips. And I hope you craft the perfect letter to Santa. And I hope this Christmas that you get exactly what you are wishing for, and perhaps more. I hope you have the most magical holiday season. Happy holidays to all of you that don't celebrate Christmas, and Merry Christmas to all of you that do. Happy Christmas.